Akosuah's voice, the silence breaker. In a small, serene village nestled under the baobab trees, a child named Akosuah was born. From a young age, her laughter was the joy of her mother, and her boundless energy filled every corner of their humble home. But, at only 5 years old, her innocent world began to shatter. She was taught silence early. Her cries and whispers were swallowed by the fear of what would happen if she spoke out. Elders and villagers noticed her shrinking spirit, but their eyes only carried pity without action. In her culture, honor was placed in silence, and people whispered that the only choice was to endure. As Akosuah grew, her silence became a cloak she wore each day. At 12, her world felt like an unending night, with no dawn in sight. Despite the pain, she clung to hope, finding solace in the whispers of ancient stories told by her grandmother, a woman who had known pain but had also known strength. These stories sparked a tiny light in Akosuah, a light that kept her heart beating through the darkest of times. Years passed, and she realized she was not alone. Other girls shared similar stories, their eyes speaking a language of pain, a language she understood all too well. Together, they began sharing their truths in secret, bonding over the weight of their silence. By 25, Akosuah's heart held stories that could fill rivers. The memories, once too painful to touch, had transformed into her power. She looked back on her life and saw the path that had shaped her, each hardship molding her spirit. With courage she hadn't known she possessed, she decided she would break her silence. Under the baobab tree where her life had once felt so small, she gathered her community. Her voice, steady yet fierce, filled the space. She spoke of the need to change, to protect the young girls of their village from the same fate. Her words struck like the thunder before rain, sparking conversation and hope. Akosuah's voice became the voice of many, an unbreakable symphony of women refusing to remain silent any longer. Akosuah's bravery rippled throughout her village, transforming silence into action. Women began to share their own stories, mothers teaching their daughters that their voices held value. Akosuah's story became a symbol of resilience and change, spoken of in neighboring villages and towns. Her words spread, encouraging many to face their fears, to break the cycle, and to stand up with dignity and courage. Akosuah, the girl who once cowered under shadows, became known as the silence breaker. And in the strength of her voice, a new dawn rose over her village, casting away the darkness that had lingered for too long. The story of Akosuah did not end in her village. Her message traveled far, becoming a legacy that inspired generations. Her courage lit a fire in the hearts of many, spreading across the land like a mighty wind. And as each young girl grew, she knew her voice mattered, thanks to the silence breaker who had dared to speak out. Through Akosuah's story, we learn the power of resilience and the value of speaking truth. African proverbs remind us, until the lion tells his story, the hunter will always be glorified. And like Akosuah, many voices rose, changing the stories of their lives and lifting up those who followed. Final call to action *. As you finish this journey with Akosuah, let her story be a reminder of the power of resilience, courage, and the importance of breaking the silence. Stories like Akosuah's hold valuable lessons and can inspire positive change in communities everywhere. If you want more powerful tales that reflect African values, struggles, and triumphs, subscribe to this channel, African Morals on YouTube. Join us as we explore more stories that uphold our cultural heritage, amplify voices, and share the wisdom of African traditions. Don't forget to like, share, and comment to keep these stories alive and heard. Together, let's preserve and pass down the legacy of our people. Subscribe now to this channel, African Morals, and be part of the change. Watch out for the next story.
Thank you.